Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital, presented by Hunt Real Estate, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills. I'm Maddy Glab, and I'm joined by Bills legend Eric Wood. And Eric, the Bills take down the Patriots 24-21. It's the first time they've beaten the Patriots since 2016, the first time they beat them at home since 2011. The Bills are now 6-2 to start the season. It's the second consecutive season they've started 6-2. That's the first time since 1988. And as I say these things, Eric, you were on the Bills team in 2016, the last team to beat the Patriots, that 16-0 win. What does it mean when I say the Bills have taken down the Patriots for the first time since you were on the team? How big is this win for this organization?
It's a big win because what all the teams in the AFC East have been doing for so long has been chasing the Patriots and trying to get to the point where you can have sustained success against them. And when they've had Tom Brady, and they've just been on an epic run. And for the Bills to be in a position now where they get a 3-point win at home and you feel like they didn't even necessarily play their best ball, that's a great sign of where this Bills franchise is. And yes, the Patriots are having a down year, but until someone officially knocks them off at the top of the division and takes the AFC East crown, they're always going to have that stigma, that team to beat feeling. So it feels great for the Bills to get a win today.
Now, it got close there towards the end of the game. Thankfully, the Bills' defense was able to come up with a fumble, and Justin Zimmer was the guy who forced it. Dean Marlowe recovered it. So awesome to see two backups making a play, making a big statement in this game against the Patriots. And let's send it over to Justin Zimmer, the guy who helped seal the deal for the Buffalo Bills.
Hey, Justin, Thad Brown, congrats on the win, man. Just talk about the last play. What are you looking at? Obviously Newton's been running downfield a lot in that drive, but from your point of view, how did that happen?
Yeah, so we had a late slide of the line, and they just ran it outside away from me. And I was just hustling down the line, and I saw kind of like a pile of our guys, and I ran over the top of it just as I could see him about to cut it up. So it was kind of perfect timing that right as he cut through the hole, I was running full speed sideways at him, and I just took a punch at the ball and knocked it out.
What's the feeling? Not only obviously a big play to win a game, but for you, a guy who's been bouncing around pro football for a long time, to make such a key play in such a big game for this team.
I mean, it's a great feeling. As soon as I turned around, I wasn't 100% sure I knocked it out. So as soon as I turned around and saw that I did get it out, it was just pure excitement, honestly. I didn't know what to think. I was just so happy that I made a big play for this team. I had some plays earlier in the game I wanted to take back, and so to make a play like that to finish out the game was huge for me.
How badly does this defense need that play? Obviously you guys had given up a touchdown on the last drive and were, giving up yardage on this drive too, but to make a play to finish off a game, how bad did you need it in that spot?
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge play for sure. They were driving down. They were in field goal range, so they were going to be able to kick it, or they still had some time left. They could possibly score. So to knock it out right there and end the game was great.
Thanks, Justin. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Justin, Matt Bove here with WKBW. Congrats on the win. I think when we spoke to you a couple weeks ago, you said you needed to make the plays once you've got the opportunity to play, and you just did that. So I guess what are the emotions like kind of realizing that?
I honestly, I don't know what to feel right now. I'm still just like breathing heavy from the game, just excited. It'll probably take me a good 24 hours just to realize kind of everything that happened. But yeah, right now I'm just excited.
What were your teammates saying after the play and then when you guys went up into the tunnel and into the locker room and whatnot?
They were all just hugging me, giving me congrats, saying huge play, things like that, just really uplifted me. We got a great team around here, everybody. It's a tight-knit family, and it was just great to do it as a team, honestly. I might have made the last play, but everybody played a big part in this. That one play didn't win us the game. It was the whole game did.
And then this might be a little bit of a relative question, but this is the biggest play for you since when?
Probably ever, honestly. I don't think I thought it was going to be when we played KC and I forced that fumble that didn't end up happening. That was probably going to be the biggest play of my life, just because I don't know if I've ever forced a fumble to end out a game. And so this one would definitely be the biggest play I've made in my life.
Thanks, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Justin, Dan Fates up in Rochester. Obviously, we talked about what happened after the play, but what was the talk in the huddle as the Patriots are kind of marching down the field and you guys have been struggling to get a stop in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew that it was a huge series for us and we had to make a play. So, between the plays, we're all telling each other, somebody's got to make a play. It doesn't matter who it is. Just make a play and end the game.
I mean, obviously, I know you're new to Buffalo here, but this rivalry has been dominated by the Patriots for 20 years. To make this play, I guess, what was the entire locker room like after the game?
It was great. Everybody was excited. We were playing music, dudes were dancing, everybody just having a good time. It's a good team win, and we're going to enjoy it for sure.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin, how are you? Sal Capaccio, WGR Radio. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you thought about how much your professional and personal life has kind of changed so quickly here in the last several months? You go from, a guy that gets drafted, that gets signed, gets waived, gets brought back, you kind of up and down, and now you make what could be, one of the bigger plays of the Buffalo Bills 2020 season.
Yeah, I mean, I just take it one day at a time. I think, honestly, maybe not having fans here makes it a little different. Like, it just seems like any other day for me. I don't feel like anything in my life's changed. It's just, coming to work every day, trying to get better. And, I was fortunate enough to make the big play for our team today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin, congrats on the win. You guys came out in the first half, and I'm sorry if this was already asked, I came in late, but you guys came out in the first half and you really shut them down in the run game, 44 yards. They seemed to get it going in the second half. What were they doing where they were able to have some success running against you guys?
Honestly, that's a little bit more a coaching staff thing. I know as a D-line, we just had to stay in our gaps. There's sometimes there's some double teams. I know I could have played better. I'm sure there's some other guys along the line. There's just different things that happen. We just got to go back to work this week, work on our fundamentals, and shore up the running game for sure.
Was there anybody that you can remember in the commotion, any moment with any teammate that stands out that came over to congratulate you about that big play?
Not really. Once I got to the sideline, pretty much everybody was hugging me. I don't know even who did or who was first, who was last. It was just like a onslaught of everybody coming to congratulate me.
Congrats, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's everyone. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, that's Justin Zimmer. Great to see him and the smile he has on his face after making that play and helping the Bills beat the Patriots. Now, Eric, let's look into these stats a little bit on this game. It was great to see the Bills' run game get going. We haven't seen this many rushing yards from the Bills this season yet, so great to see Singletary and Moss each have over 80 yards. Josh Allen with 23 yards. He was the leading rusher last week, so good to see him not being the leading rusher because they were able to get the running backs going in this game. But on the other side of the ball, the Patriots also had quite a few rushing yards as well. So from our offense to the Patriots offense, I guess, how did you see the Bills have success in the run game, and then how did you see the Patriots have success in their run game, and then maybe our Bills defense struggle a little bit to stop the run there, specifically in the second half?
Yeah, well, because of the weather in Buffalo today, both teams were going to have to rely on the ground game. And what made it equally impressive for both teams, 190 rushing yards for the Bills, 188 for the Patriots, is the fact that both defenses knew it was coming too. So that's a great job by the Bills' offensive line, opening up holes up front. Mitch Morse leaves the game early with a concussion, which the Bills were able to substitute Ryan Bates on that drive. They get a touchdown drive. Then they move John Feliciano over to center. Ike Butker comes in at guard. And the offensive line was able to open up holes throughout the day. Zack Moss and Devin Singletary, both extremely effective on the day. And the Bills this game utilized a lot more under center plays. Josh Allen under the center, which is interesting because he was primarily working with backup center John Feliciano, who just came off of IR, it's interesting that the fact that most of the time a shotgun exchange would be easier with a guy that you haven't worked with, but because of the weather, because they wanted to primarily focus on the ground game, they got under center, and it was nice to see that ground game take off. We saw a lot of this ground game from under center last year, but with the Bills' passing attack this year, they wanted to rely on the shotgun game a lot, and it was great to see how effective it was today.
Yeah, most definitely. And Josh Allen is on the podium or in the Zoom room this year. So let's send it over to Josh and hear what he had to say about the win.
It was good. Obviously, it's win number 6 for us. We're 6-2 at the halfway mark. We understand that, but like I said earlier, 6 wins doesn't get you to the playoffs. So still a lot of work to do. We got a really good opponent coming in next week, and we're turning our focus towards them as soon as we can.
But just knowing how much the Patriots have tormented this franchise for decades now, and how important this is to Bills Mafia, and how emotional this was for Bills Mafia. Just what does it mean to deliver this?
Yeah, she's cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll try and circle back. Oh, sorry. In the meantime, let's go to Chris Brown.
Hey, Josh, good job today. Wanted to just talk about the way in which you guys were able to rebound.
Yeah, sorry about that.
On offense. I think you were 3 or 4 at the end of the day. How much did the run game kind of cater to succeeding down there today?
It was really good, obviously, getting our guys going. Zach and Motor, they ran the ball extremely well. Our front 5 and our receivers and tight ends opened up some really good holes for them, but they ran the ball extremely hard. So super happy for that and getting the run game going, and something that we had to continue to build on. And you see what happens when we have good games like that on the ground, especially in a typical AFC weather game like this. So we needed it, and our guys responded, and we had guys step up. So I'm super proud of our guys right now.
Do you think it was somewhat of a statement, by Coach Dable? I know he's a guy that likes to mix it up a lot, but 7 of 10 runs on the first scoring drive, 4 out of 5 on that short second scoring drive, 9 out of 9 after you guys got the onside kickback. It's almost like you guys were making a statement like, hey, we're running the ball, whether it's coming or not.
Yeah. Our guys were doing a good job of creating holes, and our running backs were running the ball hard. And, Coach Dable was obviously wanting to reward them for their hard work and their efforts. And like I said, I'm super proud of how we played, and they worked in unison tonight, and we got the job done.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, Josh, if you could take me through that ball to Diggs that set up the touchdown where he ran downfield. It looked like you were waiting on something to develop downfield. It didn't seem to, and you checked down to him and did what you said you wanted to do all year, is get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Can you just take us through that play a little bit?
Yeah, it was a shot play, and they flew out, and we didn't have a chance to throw it. And he did a good job of working back to me. And like you said, I just got it to him, and he made the play from there. So that's what you love to see from 14 there. And our guys were, like I said, working extremely hard. And again, John Brown, I know he didn't have many targets or opportunities today, but the way he ran, the way that he was trying to get open on the last 4th down, or they went blitz 0, and we got a check to him, and he worked his tail off all day. So I know that he's still battling through some stuff, and for him to show his warrior spirit and go out there and play for the team, that was good to see. And things are going to be popping for him soon.
What did you see from John Feliciano getting back in the lineup this week? Not only, putting him in at left guard, but then first drive of the game, Mix goes out, he's got to move over. What did he mean for you guys and getting him back today?
He was huge in the run game, especially. You see on that first touchdown run with Zach, of just the relentless effort of him being able to try to pull him and drag him into the end zone. Just the toughness that he brings, the communication aspect. He was called and play left guard, and then he had to go to the center, early on the game. So he stepped up, made some plays tonight for us. And, my thoughts are going out to Mitch right now. I hope he's doing okay. And, you never like seeing your teammates get hurt. But, again, I'm sick for him, and I hope he's feeling okay right now. And, I need to give him some loving tonight.
Hey, Josh, Heather here again. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Just what was your reaction on the sideline when you see Justin Zimmer force that fumble, D. Marlowe recovers, and that sealed the win for you guys there?
I mean, it was huge. Just how relentless our defense, played, how relentless they were tonight. All week we knew we had to stop the run on the defensive side of the ball, and to see a D lineman run down there and make a play 7, 8, 9 yards downfield, and then a guy that stepped in for Micah, making huge game-changing plays for us and allowing us to secure the win there, especially in our territory. That's huge, and that's what you love to see out of your defense. They've been working extremely hard. I know, the first couple of weeks were a little rocky, and they really put their foot down and told each other that they're going to start playing for each other, and that's what they've been doing. And love those guys over there, and they make our jobs on offense a whole lot easier.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Josh Allen, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. Good win out there today, man.
Thanks, Mook. Good to see you.
Hey, man, we already know it's a divisional dogfight, man, and playing New England is never easy, but you guys finally got over the hump. So what was the mindset this morning? What Elvis track was you listening to this morning before the game?
I played a few, Love Me Tender. I had some Frank Sinatra going on today. That's life. So some good calming music that kept me in it. That was one of them. But our mindset, obviously, was just going 1-0. Trying to find a way to get to number 6. And that was really our only focus. And we understood what the Patriots have meant to this division for a long time. The thing is, we're going to play them again. We're going to see them again. And we got to prepare, when we get there and be ready to play them. Because that's a really good football team that we just played. And like I said, they don't handle losing very well over there. And they'll find ways to pull themselves back into it, with the coaching staff that they have and the type of players that they have. So I got a lot of respect for them. Make no mistake, we played a good team tonight, but we got our job done.
And just in the Zimmer time, man, you got it done there. So congratulations. Good job, right?
Thank you.
My God.
Hey, Josh, congrats on the win.
Thanks, Vic.
And what does it mean to you when you get this running game finally going the way it went today, the way I think you probably knew it could go at some point? When that happens, what does it mean kind of for you? Because most times when this offense was performing well this year, it was you in the passing game carrying the load. Today, it had a feel where you had a lot of help there.
100%. And it's a kudos to our guys up front working their tails off during the week in practice and making sure that we had an added emphasis on trying to get the run game going. They went out there, they played their tails off. And again, we play in Buffalo. This isn't the last time we're going to have weather like this. And we got to be able to run the ball when the other team knows we're going to run it. And that's what we did tonight. So we got to continue to keep working hard and again, finding ways to move the ball, albeit through the air or on the ground. So like I said, I'm super proud of our guys of how we performed today.
And as a practical matter, maybe technical, I know your emotions with Mitch and everyone is there hoping everything's great with him. But you had a new center all of a sudden in the game and you had to adjust to that. Were there any hiccups, any issues at all? I know you had good exchanges, but just the mindset of getting in sync with a guy, I don't think did you not take a snap from him at all week? I would say.
Not all week. But again, I've had enough experience with John last year under center. And two, just off the field, I'm very comfortable with him and, we get along great, and that off the field relationship definitely transfers over to the football field. So it was no big deal. And, he did a good job today. I'm super proud of him. And I know that he's been through a lot, throughout the year, injury in his shoulder and in his pec, and being able to come back and fight through it and week after week being told he's not ready. He finally got the job to come back tonight. And, he did a great job.
So no adjustment really needed.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Josh said no adjustment really needed there when they had Mitch Morse come out of the game. Ryan Bates came in for a series, and then John Feliciano shifted over to center, and you had Ike Butker come in John Feliciano's place. we have the best person on right now to talk about offensive line shifts. Eric, this is something that isn't easy to do in a game where you knew the run game was going to be heavy due to the weather. So you bring a guy in like Jon Feliciano, who hasn't played a game yet this season because of his pec injury. He comes in to not necessarily even play the spot he's been playing at since last season, comes in and then shifts over to center. How did you think the offensive line did? How tough is an adjustment like that to make coming from someone who played on the offensive line in the NFL?
It could be a big adjustment. And you heard Josh Allen say they hadn't worked together at all this week. They had not taken any snaps. But the fact that Jon Feliciano was here all of last year, he played center primarily all through the preseason last year and then got some action during the regular season as well. There's a comfort level there, and that's huge. And what the Bills have been able to do with their offensive line these last couple of years with the continuity, and they've added a few new pieces, but they've had so much continuity that allows them to go into games like this where you're already down one of your starting guards and Cody Ford, then you lose your center, and you really don't miss much of a beat. At times today, I thought the Patriots were able to get home in some pass protection, which may have been a sign of different guys out. But the fact that they opened up the run game the way they did today, and like I said earlier, the fact that the Patriots knew it was coming is outstanding work by the offensive line up front.
Yeah, I feel like it was a big step in the right direction for the offensive line just because we had talked about before in weeks previously where they couldn't get the run game going that the offensive line had to do a better job of run blocking. And so to see Devin Singletary and Moss go for each over 80 yards, I mean, Singletary's averaging over 6 yards a carry in this game. Moss is at 5.79 yards per carry. That's exactly what you want to see out of your run game. Moss had 2 rushing touchdowns. So let's send it to the rookie and hear what Zack Moss had to say about his 2-touchdown day.
Just what were you guys doing in the running game that made you guys so effective today? Because it's something that we really haven't seen all season. You guys get this rushing attack going.
I think it was just, our mentality from Monday coming into this week. We knew we had to be able to run the ball. They're a very good team, and we just needed to make sure that we weren't one-dimensional. And I think it just started from Monday and just our mentality coming and working that whole entire week, and it definitely paid off today.
How much of a boost was it to get Jon Feliciano back for this game?
It was huge. I mean, just from the time I came in and I watched him work in the offseason before his injuries and stuff like that, we had a dog in him. And just getting him back, that just kind of energized that entire offensive line. It helps us as running backs and stuff like that as a team overall. So it was huge to get him back and go out there and watch him work.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Hey, Zach, Chris Brown here. Was there a point in time where you really felt like, there are times in games late when that offense just really feels like they're wearing down a defense, and with the way you guys were running the ball, was there a point in time there in the second half where you really felt like you had him?
I mean, you can never say you really got someone. You know what I mean? It's always the next play mentality and just continue to work and do your 111th. And I think we did a really good job of just being consistent in the run game, and then just making our reads as running backs and just watching the O-line work and, give us space and, finishing our runs. That was the biggest thing, and continue to get positive yards.
You got the you got the first 2 times in the end zone under your belt now. The first one you got in there pretty clean. Second one, you got a little help from your fellas. Can you just kind of walk us through each of those, please?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was, one of our outside zone plays that we've been running all year. And on the left side, we did a really good job of just giving me a seam to hit. And I was able to find the end zone on that one. And then the second one, a little dirty of a look down there low in the red zone, but, stuck my foot in the ground. And then I did get a huge push from my offensive line. So definitely that touchdown is, mostly theirs on that one.
Thanks.
Hey, Zach, I know you said the mindset was from Monday, knowing that you wanted to do what you were able to do today run-wise, but can we back it up to like from the very beginning of the season or through the first 7 games leading into this one, the run game wasn't what you guys wanted it to be. How much of that served as kind of fuel motivation? Each week wanting to have that breakout, win or lose, that you wanted this run game to kind of be what it was today.
Yeah, I mean, me and Devin are two capable guys, and our offensive line is more than capable. And we have the receivers that we have, which, just makes our offense really unstoppable. And, early in the year, it wasn't, really consistent like we wanted. We had plays here and there. But, right now is the most important time, and all we can focus on is right now and everything in front of us. So after this game, we're going to continue to just do what we've been doing, put our heads down, not worry about everything else, and just, trying to continue to be this Buffalo Bills team that we showed today.
And Zach, to that point, as far as like what's ahead, weather, you saw, you got that kind of a little bit of a taste of it today. The idea that running gritty football like today is so vital to give you guys your best opportunity, especially with your home games left. How do you view that from your perspective and your role in that?
Yeah, definitely the weather is going to be getting a lot different than it was early in the year. So the run game is really, really important right now to grind these games out late into the season and get these dirty wins. So like I said, this is a good game, right, for us to really show on tape that we can do it consistently, not 1 quarter here, 2 quarters there, but all 4 quarters. So we're just going to get back to the tape and continue to put our heads down, like I said, and just continue to build on our offense.
Thank you, Zach.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Zach. Adam Bonini, WGRZ TV. Vic kind of went with a question I was going to ask you there, but I'll just ask you, in that locker room, what's the significance of this win against this opponent? I know you haven't been here, but the domination the Patriots have had, the opportunity that exists for the Buffalo Bills as a football team in this division to kind of grind this one out today. I know you're far from the finish line, but give me a sense of what it means in that locker room to do this.
I mean, like you said, I haven't been here. This is only my 8th game in the league. So just knowing the history that these guys have been through with this team and knowing what the Patriots have been able to do in this conference and things like that, you factor in the entire long COVID year and everything like that we've all sacrificed to be here, and to finally get one stepping stone closer to something that we all won, and that's the AFC East Championship. It's really big. So the vibe in this locker room right now is unmatched. I'm really happy that, we were able to come out with this win and guys did everything they could possibly do. So, like you said, it's not over. This is just one game closer to where we want to be. So we definitely got a lot more ahead of us.
Thank you.
Right, Zach. Mark Gahn from the Buffalo News. You had a nice 21-yard run right before the first touchdown. I think you cut it up off Deion's back. Just what do you recall that? Was a lot of just sort of outside zones, or what was that run?
Yeah, we had a really good dose of outside zones called up all night that me and Motor was hitting all night. And the offensive line, especially our tackles and our guards, did a really good job of just making our reads really clean for us, being physical at the line and just giving us some space to, exploit the defense.
Great. Thank you.
Baby Beast Mode, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. How's it going?
What's up, my man?
14 touches, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, career game, man. How comfortable did you feel out there today?
Honestly, this is probably the most I've felt like myself. Just from, everything from top to bottom. So I was just happy that I was able to come out and be ready to go in a game like this, knowing what it means and things like that. So I was really comfortable out there today and, just want to continue to build off that going to the rest of the year.
Now, a couple of days ago, we spoke about being patient while running the ball. And your offensive line, care to talk about, the time they gave you to be patient, to see those open lanes running?
And they did a great job of just knocking guys off the ball. We talked about being physical all week, and they did a really good job of that. And just, me, myself, and Motor, we was able to really get downhill and just puncture a defense. And, it was very few times, if any, really, that we were going backwards.
Hey, look good. Something to build off on. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
All set for today. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
So this offense gains 190 rushing yards. They had 339 total yards. And in part, the rushing success is also due to Josh Allen. What was Josh Allen able to do at the line of scrimmage that helped them gain yards on the ground and through the air?
There was multiple times throughout the game today where you could hear Josh Allen say, alert, alert, and the Bills were at home. So that would have been audible to the TV, regardless of the fact that there's no crowd in the stands. But on those alert plays, generally you will have two different plays called, and by alerting, you're switching the play call. And if you just go through the regular cadence, you'll keep the original play. By alerting on all those plays, he's getting the Bills in an optimal run look for what the defense is giving them. And throughout the day today, there was huge chunk plays in the run game after those alerts. I also love the fact that he got to the wide receiver screen against cover 0. There was no safeties deep. Josh Allen knew there was going to be pressure, and he checked to the wide receiver screen to John Brown, very similar to what he did in the opening game of the season against the Jets at home.
I love it. I love that he is starting to grow in his third year, be more mature. And it was good to see Devin Singletary break off a 18-yard run play, Zack Moss break off a 21-yard run play. Awesome to see this offense have some success on the ground and through the air, especially John Brown getting involved there since he's been nicked up a little bit and is still coming back into his own, but good to see him get involved as well. Well, let's send it over to Sean McDermott. He is with us after the game.
Congrats on the win, Sean.
Hey, thanks, Vic. Appreciate it.
Yes.
How was the birthday? How was the birthday?
Outstanding. Thank you. And yeah, she was watching with great more attentiveness than any time in 8 years.
Awesome.
But for you, Coach, breaking this this streak, this the stretch against the Pats. How much does that mean? I know another game, another win, 6 wins. You're going to give me the big picture, but it has to be special to
yeah,
win.
listen, it feels good. I mean, it's one win, right? They're all hard to get, Vic, as you know, and just really proud of the guys, the way they started with our process and our focus internally on Monday, and that's really what led us to the victory. Obviously a huge play by Zim down the stretch. Really proud of our offensive line coaches. I thought we did a great job in the running game this week, and that was an emphasis all week, and they responded to the challenge.
And Sean, to that point about the run game showing up for the first time in the biggest way. A lot of you guys talked about that being the week-long mentality, but for you to see it on a season-long basis to finally happen and know how important it is going forward, can you just kind of characterize what that all meant and how, is this, in your mind, is this satisfying that you're onto something here, or, you don't think it's just a one-off, so to speak?
Well, I think, Vic, if I understand your question the right way, I think it's us evolving as a football team. And you always have to look at every week where you can improve. And we'll do the same thing, starting tonight. I already wrote some things down as I sat in my locker here. So it's really, doing a good assessment of where we are and what we need to do to grow as a football team. And the players, committing to that. And my hat goes off to them. They understood what we needed to do this week, and they worked hard on it all week. They really did. And we went in pads on Wednesday, as you probably know, and that showed up today.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, good to see you. Congrats on the win. Just what was your reaction when Justin Zimmer forced that fumble, and then you see Dean Marlowe recover there to seal it for you guys?
Yeah, awesome to see. I mean, two guys that have come through a lot of adversity in their careers, and one, it's great to have Dean here, who was with us in Carolina. That's why you run to the ball, right? Because they're inches away from somebody else on the Patriots recovering it, and that's why we create the habit, and you got to do it every play. And then Zimmer, again, just a guy that's been around a little bit, just traveled to different teams, and we're so thankful to have him here. He's really, he's cut from the cloth of Buffalo, man. He's just DNA wise, he doesn't say much. He loves to work hard. He runs scout team. He runs, the defense when he's out there, and he came up with a huge play today. So we're thankful to have him. And then the play also that Maddy Glab made, I think that flies under the radar a little bit, but the discipline, to do your job every play for however long it takes. I think that was to be celebrated as well.
And I know, kind of going back to Vic's first question, you know, I know you guys say it's the most important game because it's the next game and things like that, but you obviously understand that for this fan base, you know, this is a team that's tormented this franchise for decades now. Just what is it like to be able to deliver a win like that? Obviously, not only to the team, but you know, for this fan base as well.
Yeah, it gets me emotional, Heather. It does. I mean, all week long we try and go through it. Hey, one day at a time, process. But we know what this game means to our fan base, and just really, really special. Wish they could have been in the building, honestly, to experience it. It would have been crazy, I'm sure, and hopefully everyone at home enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Heather.
Hey, Sean, Adam Benini, congratulations on the win. You described last week as a character win. How would you describe this game?
More character, honestly, more character and guts, man. Just real blue collar approach, and again, just give a lot of credit to the coaches, the players, man. Executed at a high level at times. Certainly, there's things we can do better, but that was a gutty performance, man.
And your defense, I mean, you know, it's had gaps in its play this year. We've talked about that. You know, I think back to the Raider game, and I think to today, and we use the word opportunistic. You know, forcing a turnover, Zimmer there at a key moment. How would you describe this defense to this point now, 8 games into the season?
Well, there's certainly things that we can improve on, and as an overall team, that's true from today as well. And I think we're getting better with more and bigger challenges ahead with Seattle coming in next week. So we got to continue to grow as a defense. You saw what we were able to do offensively in terms of an area that was not probably most would describe as an area of strength for us. We went out and ran the ball today, and I thought our offensive line did an incredible job. And there's still a lot to work on every week here for us.
Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, good job on the win. I wanted to just talk to you specifically about your red zone offense today. Kind of a nice bounce back week. Obviously, the run game had a big part in that, but what did you feel about your offensive execution in the red zone there today and how it differed from last week's struggles?
Yeah, I thought once we got into the red zone, for the most part, Chris, we were able to stay on schedule and stay out of the negative play, situations there. So I thought that was big for us. And then just the execution again by the players, the physical nature of our offensive line, the physical nature of our backs and tight ends, blocking in the run game, carrying the ball, and then Josh made a big run in there as well with great ball security. So it was all hands on deck and great to see the execution.
Perfect. Thanks.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, thanks for taking the time. Congrats on the win. Your run game really, from the start of this game, the first drive all the way through, really looked to be on point, not only from what the running backs were doing, but especially on the offensive line. Can you speak to, how the offensive line played, particularly in the run game, and what maybe John Feliciano meant in getting him back in his performance?
Yeah, great question. John's a big part of what we try and do here, and certainly a big part of the offensive line. And, we haven't had him, and I think that added to our identity today. It's never one guy, though, so let's keep things in perspective there. We didn't know, obviously, that he was going to have to play the whole game. We thought maybe he'd be on a pitch count because it being his first game back. But just, again, incredibly proud of the offensive line, and now we got to do it again because it's got to be a consistent thing and a consistent mindset more than anything. And I think that was, being physical is one thing. It's got to start with the mindset, and that's what I'm most proud of with those guys and the coaches.
And if I could, one more, with Matt dealing with the injury, Tremaine banged up this year, you've really had to lean on A.J. Klein. How do you feel like he's performed, not only like today, but, overall in these 8 games?
Yeah, he's got incredible amounts of resiliency, honestly. I mean, he plays any position he's asked to play. He studies, he works his butt off. Really no different than the guy I was around in Carolina, Brandon and myself being around him in Carolina years ago. And there was a gap, obviously, in between where he went to New Orleans there for a few years, and then we were up here. So, he's a valuable part of our team.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hi, Sean. You mentioned to Vic there, you're sitting at your locker, kind of things are going through your head. You're writing some things down you want to improve on. But when you did have a moment to kind of sit there for yourself and decompress, what was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of work's going into this. These wins every week don't come easy. That's a good football team, coached by one of the best ever, if not the best ever, and so just a battle. It was a street fight from the start, and we knew it was going to be that way. Our guys just played, and they kept playing, and I would just say overall, for me personally, just thankful for everyone who have contributed to this. Right, it's never one man, and I'm just thankful that we can give this to our fans.
Yeah, Dion mentioned this isn't your Super Bowl. How do you balance that approach of celebrating the wins, and the victories along the way? But what does it mean, I guess, that your team keeps the big perspective, in mind there?
Yeah, that's real. And that's probably why I am how I am, and typically after wins, and no different here. I mean, I gave them the day off just to enjoy this, and we've been on a long stretch, without the bye and the other piece where we thought we would have kind of a shortened week after the Kansas City, what was supposed to be that Thursday night was going to kind of act as a mini bye for us, and we didn't get that either. So really proud of the guys, the way they persevered. Now we got to get back fresh. We've got some injuries, but that's these guys have battled. Next man has been prepared and stepped up and done a good job.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, it's Kim Jones. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you, Kim.
Congratulations. And since I raised my hand, you've touched on this a little bit, but I figured I'd ask it anyway.
Sure.
Your team has obviously, from my perspective, just played its tail off for you, even if it hasn't always been pretty. And I'm wondering if first of all, the way I heard you just say tomorrow you gave them the day off, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So is that, but also, we saw you smile earlier on this Zoom call, which was kind of cool. Like, is there that idea that you have to take the tiniest step back and recognize how hard these guys have played? They've played hurt and they won a big game today, and let them enjoy it, even if it is for, 12 to 24 hours?
Yeah, that's critical. Even for myself, you work hard, right, Kim? You work hard yourself, and you try to be consistent through the weeks, and that's important, right? This is an emotional win for our entire city. A lot's going into this to get us to where we are, and there's still a lot of football yet to be played and a lot of things we have to get better at. But I'm going to go home tonight and just take an hour or two and just enjoy being around my family here.
Sean, if I may follow up with Tremaine, it feels like he gets banged up every week and goes back out there and probably wills himself to go back out there. Do you have any concerns about him health-wise right now?
Well, not that I know of.
Okay.
I haven't gotten the update, honestly, Kim, from the other
Right.
trainer. But I was real proud of the way he won it back in that game within a play or two, and just awesome. I mean, he's really growing in that regard.
Thank you, Sean. Congrats.
Thanks, Kim.
Sean McDermott's press conference is presented by Hunt, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills.
So the Bills are 4-0 in the AFC East. It's the first time they've won the first 4 games against AFC East opponents since 1991. So it's been quite some time since the Bills have seen some success like this, at least in the division. And Eric, beating the Patriots 24-21, even if it wasn't the prettiest win, even if it wasn't by a ton of points, I guess what does this win say just about the evolution of this Buffalo Bills team under Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane?
Yeah, what they've been able to build since they've gotten together these last 4 years has been absolutely tremendous, to this point where you're at 6-2 for the second year in a row. You mentioned 4-0 against the division this year. They've drafted well. They've taken care of the salary cap situation, and the way this franchise is trending is absolutely phenomenal. And you bring up today, and you get a win by 3 points against a team that only has 2 wins on the season, but it's significant because you turned the ball over in the first half, and until that final play, you were losing the turnover battle again. And it was a wet and windy day in Orchard Park, and those games are going to be tough, and you gave up yards in the second half, but you're finding ways to win, and you consistently have seen the Bills do that under Sean McDermott, and that's what good teams do.
Definitely, and the Bills will face the Seahawks next week, another talented team coming here to Orchard Park to Bills Stadium. So what do you think the Bills need to get to work on here this week? I know Sean said they have the day off tomorrow, but what are some things you think they'll focus on in prep for this game?
You know, when you think about the Seahawks, you're thinking about Russell Wilson, and you're thinking about all the yards through the air, that pretty deep ball he throws. So, you know, they have multiple receivers. They have Tyler Lockett, a big play guy, and also DK Metcalf. And we've seen at times people will try and pick on whoever is opposite Trey White, whether that's Josh Norman, whether that's Levi Wallace, whoever it may be. So what are they going to do coverage-wise? And then you're going to have to be able to generate a pass rush. And today, the Bills got 2 sacks against Cam Newton. Last week, the Bills had 6 sacks. They're trending in a better direction with this pass rush. And then offensively, you've now shown that you can grind teams out on the ground if that's the way you need to play. And they've shown that they have a dynamic passing game. So it'll be interesting to see what the weather turns out like to be in Orchard Park next week and which kind of offense the Bills decide to feature.
Yeah, things are definitely looking up for this team. 2 straight wins as they head into the week where they'll play the Seahawks coming up on Sunday at 1 o'clock kick. Eric, thank you for being with us. We do appreciate the time and always your analysis. Well, if you want more from us, if you want more highlights, more post-game sound, more highlights, we'll have it all at 11:30 on MSG. So come right back here on MSG, hang out with Eric Wood and I for an hour, and we hope you all enjoy this evening and the week as we celebrate the Buffalo Bills beating the Patriots for the first time since 2016. We'll catch you all next week.